Tom again. I'm with my friend Ron Schraven, and I learned that is not how it's pronounced. When I call your phone, how do you say it? What is it really?
Schraven.
Schraven.
Yes.
Ron is from the Netherlands, and he's here in the States with this product called Dutch Trig. I'm always talking to all of you about alternatives to some of the more toxic materials that we handle as arborists, and I got to know Ron over the last several years, and I'm very intrigued, and I've been using this material, Dutch Trig. Tell us a little bit about what it does.
Yeah, well, it's actually a fungus that we use. It's a Verticidium, but the group or the family of Verticidium is a large one. What we use is a white or hyaline variant, so it has no ability to produce any resting structure. So it's basically not able to live outside our vial or inside the tree. But it has the characteristics of actually letting a tree know that it shouldn't be there. So what we do, we vaccinate the tree with that in one drop each 4 inches around the tree. What happens then is that the tree actually recognizes that as being alien and raises its defense mechanism, and therefore is induced resistant throughout the growing season. And because of elms being ring porous, they have all the biochemistry outside in the outer growth ring. So we have to do it annually. But the good thing about it is we're not using any pressure. We're not using a drill, because we've got this tool which is very, I would say, non-damaging.
Yes, very passive approach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the tree does the work. There's no interaction with the Dutch elm disease, but the tree is protected.
You use the phrase induced response, and that's something that we're starting to hear a lot here in the States. I wouldn't be surprised if Europe is ahead of us. But what does that mean? What is induced response? I mean, this is something having to do with trees' natural abilities to protect themselves.
Yeah. It's actually known for almost a century. I think it was a researcher by the name of Chester who figured out that there's something like that, like induced resistance. And some of woody plants had it, but also like potato and tomato plants. So basically what happens, they get a mild strain of something, then raise the defense mechanism. So basically they're not dying from the first infection, raise the defense mechanism, and they are actually really well protected against other or more heavy strains of similar like. So we often refer to it as like a vaccine or vaccination. Like with humans, we produce antibodies. Trees cannot do that, but they have a far better system to protect themselves than we do.
It sounds kind of like what we in human healthcare would call homeopathy. To me, this is sort of like it's a naturally occurring substance, and when we introduce it into the elm tree, it recognizes that it's a foreign body, and it reacts by upping its defenses. Absolutely. Now, it's not curative. It's important to say this is not anything like the systemic fungicides that we're used to using. So it's only for healthy trees.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it's a true preventative. And it helps against an infection by beetles, because if you have a root grafting infection, which is the second form of getting infected by a tree, then the disease is already systemic, and you can't really prevent that from happening. So,
yeah. Cool. Well, I don't want to go on too long, and but I just wanted you all to hear about some of the things that are going on in other parts of the world. And Dutch Trig has been here for decades. It just doesn't get enough press, so that's what I wanted to do, is introduce some of you to it. And you can reach out. It's easy to find, and you can ask me more about it if you're interested. So thank you all. Talk to you soon.